Hello love, welcome back to my channel. If you're just seeing this page for the first time, please subscribe, like, share, and turn on the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I post a new video. Thank you guys for always coming back. I love you guys so much. So today we'll be drafting a play jumpsuit. As you can see, I already marked out the line, my armhole line, my bust point, my waistline, my underbust, my crotch length, and the full length of the jumpsuit. So my armhole line, I marked 9 inches, my bust point 12, my waistline 19, my hip 28, my crotch length, I just marked from my hip 4 inches downward to get the crotch, since we are drafting a joined together play suit. So I just marked from my hip downward 4 inches to get the crotch length, then the full length. So I marked in 2 inches. From that 2 inches, I ruled a straight line. So as you can see, from that 2 inches, I measured my shoulder, which is 8, my neck width and neck depth. My neck width, I used 3 inches, while the neck depth, I used 4.5. So I came down with 1 inches for the shoulder slope. And so now I'm marking my armhole line. So I marked the midpoint of the armhole line, then I went in by half an inch and connect. So now I'm inputting my bust measurement so I can connect to the armhole. My bust is 11.5. I added 3 inches allowance because I want the playsuit to be very free. 11.5. I added 3 inches allowance. Make sure you start taking your measurement from the 2 inches we went in. From that 2 inches line we went in, so I connected. So I'll go take my waist, my hip measurements. Sorry, I went back to add the 3 inches allowance. So I'm taking my hip measurement and I added 3 inches allowance. I did same on my waist, and the measurement I got on my hip, I just placed it on the full length. That's the full length of the short. And mark it straight down. I'll connect right from my bust to my waist to my hip, then the full length. Then I'll cut out. So I'm going to connect from my hip line, from that 2 inches I took in, my hip line, I'll connect it on the curve ruler to the 4 inches I marked down as my crotch length, if you understand. You know I went in by 2 inches, so at that 2 inches space, I'm going to mark from my hip line. And I went down, I told you I went down by 4 inches to get the crotch. So I'm going to go in on the curve to the crotch. Then I went down by 3 inches from that crotch length downward. I just curved it, as you can see, cut it out already. So I placed the front piece on the back piece so I can cut. At the crotch line, I went in by 2.5 inches. From the front crotch, I went in by 2.5 inches for the back. So I'm going to cut out. I left half an inch deeper allowance, but I later removed it after cutting. So at the shoulder part, I went in by 2 inches, leaving out 3 inches because I'm going to tie the shoulder. So I don't need it to be wide. So I connect it to the armhole and cut it out. So I cut out that ½ inch I left at the back. I cut it off because I'm not going to impute a zip. So now I'm going to take it to the sewing machine and I'll sew the neck and the armhole. You know, it's a sleeveless jumpsuit, so I'm going to sew the armhole and the neckline. I'll bring it back for us to see. So I've sewed the armhole and the neck. I've hemmed it both for the front and the back. I've hemmed the neck and the armhole with half inch. So now I'm going to I'm going to sew ½ inch from the neck to the crotch for the both of them, both the front and the back. So I've sewed in ½ inch from the neck to the crotch of the front and also did the same at the back. So if you're going to impute a zip on it, so you mark the length of your zip, then you put your zip, and from there you stitch in the remaining part. So now this is the crotch. This is the back piece. I cut out 4 pieces of fabric I'm going to use for the pockets, the side pocket. So for the front piece, I'm going to measure from my armhole down to my waist. My armhole was 9 and my waist is 19. I use 19, so I'll go down by 2 inches from my waist, which made it 21. So I'll notch, and that's 21 inch. Then I'll put the piece of fabric at that notch point, 1 by the side. I'll mark it straight. You know, it's 4 pieces, so I'm putting it 2 at the front, 2 at the back. I'll bring it back for us to see. This is it after sewing in the pockets, the piece. This is the front piece, and I'll show you the back piece. Just join it like this at the edge on a straight line. I cut out another fabric that I'm going to use for the pockets at the top of my bust. So I just made it into a triangle shape. So I'm placing it at the front and I'll stitch in at the tip of the pocket. This is the back part of my jumpsuit, and this is the side pocket too. So I'm going to sew from the armhole ½ inch down to where the pocket is. As you can see, the way I'm showing you, that's how I'm going to sew it down to the pocket, and then I'll curve it down to the full length. Watch how that's how I'm going to sew it. So I've sewed ½ inch down, and by the other side too. So I didn't join the crotch, so I'll go down, make sure I trim it so the length will be equal. Then I'll go in by 1 inch. I'll hem it down by 1 inch. After hemming it, then I'll join my crotch and bring it back for us to see. So I cut out the rope I'm going to be using at the shoulder parts. 15 inches long, and I folded it to be 2.5 inch, the same as my shoulder, because my shoulder is 2.5. So I made it 2.5 inch. So I'm going to sew each one. So 2 at the front, 2 at the back. Then I'll bring it back for us to see. So I've joined the crotch, impute my pockets, both the side pockets, and also the shoulder. I've sewn in the rope. Make sure you give it a nice press to see the beauty. So you can see the pockets. You have side pockets and you have front pockets. So this is how you tie it. Tie the shoulder. This is the front pocket. Then we have the side pockets. This is the side pockets. Thank you guys for watching. If you watch up to this part, hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to subscribe, share, like. Please subscribe, help your girl, like the video, share, drop your comment of this place. So thank you guys so much. I love you so much. Thank you guys. See you guys in my next video. Bye bye.